Good morning, lovely mamas and papas. A Q&A today. I've received lots of messages with some beautiful questions, and I like to make my answers public because I know that we're all struggling with the same kind of issues with our babies. So I know that my answer to this lovely mama can serve other mamas and papas as well. So I always keep my answers anonymous. I don't mention any name, of course. But yeah, so today this lovely mama said, hi Manu, I would like to know how to respond gently but efficiently to my 7.5 months old baby when he pinches, pulls hair, hits and claws. I want to be able to teach him how to communicate without the aggression, but I'm not sure how. Thanks in advance. So, firstly, thank you for your question, lovely mama, and I'm glad that you're reaching out when you're not too sure how to deal with a situation with your baby. There are lots of information out there that can be confusing. So I'm going to share my thoughts with you from an aware parenting perspective and a bit of somatic experiencing in the mix, especially around healthy anger and how we can help our babies, right? So the first thing I want to say is that it is important in this moment so when babies is doing something painful, whether it's to you or to someone else, the most important is to set a limit in that moment. To set a limit that is firm and loving, right? So when I say firm, I'm not saying harsh, right? Firm means clear. So the baby receives the message that you don't want this to happen. You don't want him to scratch you or to scratch someone else. So with a 7.5 months old baby, words will not be enough. And even with older children, words are often not enough when they become a bit aggressive and they can't control their impulse, right? So we might want to hold his little hands and look at his eyes and connect with him, right? And saying something like, oh no, I'm not going to let you do that, sweetheart, right? You really want to protect yourself. You can be sure that he doesn't want to hurt you, right? So you're also making him a favor by stopping him from doing this, right? So, stop him using the minimum amount of force you need, so you're not hurting him, of course, right? But really stopping the behavior. I'm a big fan of not letting our kids or our babies do anything to us that would create pain, anger, or resentment to us. Right? Because when we feel pain, anger, or resentment, we become angry at them, we lose connection, etc. Right? So really stop him from doing this just so you're not hurt. Right? That is the first and I would say most important bit in the moment. Right? And I say a limit that is firm but also loving, right? Because we want to remember that our baby in this moment, he is doing the best he can, right? He is doing that thing for a reason, and he doesn't have yet the impulse control that would help him stop doing this, right? So we want to come from a place of love, remembering that he needs help in this moment, right? It's not punishment that he needs help to stop. Right, so we want to come from that place of love that, whoa, there might be something going on for you and I'm going to help you control this aggressive impulse right now, right? Then we want to look, I don't want to offer little tricks and quick fixes with our kids. That's not how I work. I like to always look at the underlying behavior. Why is the child doing what he is doing, right? Because when we really understand what is happening deep inside, then we are more likely to help him in an efficient way, right? So with aware parenting, we know that there are basically 3 reasons why a child can be behaving unpleasantly. The first one can be a lack of information. And I think this is coming up here with a 7.5 months old baby. He doesn't have the information yet that hitting you in the face or pulling your hair is hurting, right? He doesn't know that yet, and he doesn't have the cognitive capacity to put himself in your shoes, so he doesn't know that he's hurting you, right? He hasn't developed empathy yet, so there's definitely a lack of information there. And you can trust that he doesn't want to hit you or to hurt you, right, in any way. The second reason why he could be doing this is because he has unmet needs. So I don't have much information here in the mom's question, so I don't know if he's doing this more in certain kind of situations and not so much in other moments, right? So observing and seeing when he does that would give us a clue on if he's needing something. He can be doing this when he was trying to do something but he got frustrated because he couldn't do it. He could do this when he's really hungry and he doesn't know how to communicate that. It can be anything, right? So we want to look at why is he doing this in this moment? Is there a need for him that is not met, and how can I meet his need, right? Often babies will do this, the hitting, when they have our attention. And that takes me to the next reason why a child could do this. A child can be a bit aggressive and pulling hair when he has pent-up feelings, right? Pent-up feelings means that he's got some frustration or anger or resentment or overwhelm or stress in his body that is making him feel a bit mad, and this is why he's doing all those hurtful things, right? And there are so many reasons for a baby to feel stressed or angry, right? Even in the most caring and calm household, being a baby is very frustrating in a way, right? They can't communicate to us properly, they can't walk, they want to reach a toy but they can't move yet. There's a lot of overwhelm, right? Because everything is new for them, so going to the shops and having people coming and all that can be causing a bit of stress as well. When they're young, they can't even scratch their nose properly, right? So this is all very frustrating. And to that can be added our own stress, right? So when we feel a bit stressed or overwhelmed, our child will pick up onto that and they might feel the stress as well, right? So that can be the reason why he's doing, and you're talking about aggression in your question, right? So I'm guessing this is the biggest reason why. It's probably because it's got some pent-up feelings there, some anger, some frustration. Maybe there's still a little bit of the birth trauma in his body that he hasn't been able to release through crying yet. So that's what I'm guessing would be happening with a little baby that is being a bit aggressive. And I love that you want him to communicate without the aggression, right? It's a very important skill in the world to be able to communicate to someone else without scratching them in the face, right? But there's also something very important, is that our kids and ourselves as well, we need to have the opportunity to express aggression when we are feeling angry or frustrated, right? Healthy anger, healthy frustration is just part of life. It's an emotion. It comes from sensations in the body, and anger is there for a reason, right? It's telling us that our needs are not met or that there is something wrong, right? So we don't want to numb that aggression or that healthy anger, right? And with our kids, if we can give them an outlet for this healthy anger, then they won't need to be aggressive in painful ways. Does that make sense? So I want to encourage you to see when your child is trying to release some frustration, when your child is trying to release some anger, and see what is your reaction in the moment. Because for most of us, it is uncomfortable to see our child feeling angry or frustrated, and we always, most of us, tend to try to judge them or to distract them when they start crying or raging or throwing themselves on the ground and crying, right? Yet this is part of life. This is very healthy for them to have that cry when they're feeling frustrated or angry, right? And I want to encourage you to embrace those moments as much as possible, right? And so if your child is throwing himself on the ground and crying, just allowing that for as much as you can would be very beneficial, because then he's releasing the anger and frustration that was making him mad and making him do this aggressive behavior, right? The thing with anger and frustration and stress and overwhelm is that either it gets expressed, right, healthily through crying and raging or pushing against mommy in a playful way. And if it doesn't get expressed, then it gets repressed, right? And anger that gets repressed then accumulates in the body. And when there is too much aggression, too much anger, the anger starts leaking out. And it's true for us as well. It starts leaking out, and it begins to leak out onto others. So we become aggressive, or we say hurtful things. And that's true for babies. When they've got lots of accumulated anger, they can feel it in their body, and they don't have another way to communicate it than crying and raging, or if this is not allowed, they will have to go through scratching and pulling hair, etc. Right? So I want to invite you to do this, to allow emotional release when it comes up, right? So just keep an eye on yourself and your reaction, and we want to shift our mindset, right? Because we have been told that crying is not good, and that raging or child is trying to manipulate us, and all that is it's not true, right? Crying and raging is a healthy release mechanism. It's a healing mechanism, right? When a baby is angry, he will let you know he's angry, right? And this is very healthy. So we want to try to embrace that, right? And not freak out. This is just very healthy for a baby to do, right? And another thing I would like to invite you to do is a little bit of play with him, because at this age, they love it when they do something to you, to your body, and they get a reaction, right? Because that makes them feel powerful. So, oh, I just did that, and mommy did this. So maybe when he pulls your hair, you did ow. So that, oh, that's interesting. That's a reaction. I feel like I have some power, some control over mommy, right? And he's not doing that in any bad ways. That's just him discovering the world, right? But we don't want that to happen in painful ways. So if you can offer that to your child, that little bit of power through contingency games, that can help him to feel powerful without having to hurt you. So instead of putting your hair, you can invite him, for example, to you put your two hands like this, and you invite him to touch your hands, and when he touches this hand, you make a funny noise like burp. And if he touches this hand, you make burp. And so it will have that sense of power, like, oh, this is fun, I can touch here or there. Or if he's gentle enough, touch your nose and make a funny face. That would give him a sense of power without having to hurt you, right? Another kind of contingency games, and they will all be in my online course about playful discipline. For example, if he's dropping a doll or his dog on the ground, and you say ouch for the doll, babies of this age, they absolutely love it, right? I'm sure you would take the doll again and drop it again to hear you make ow, right? Or whichever noise comes out to you at that point. Again, that helps them to feel that they have some control, to learn about their relationship with you, and that can be really helpful for them to feel a little bit more in control and more powerful, and it's not hurting your hair and your face. So I hope that is helpful. Let me know below. When you're watching a video of mine, I would love to have some kind of feedback, whether it's just a like or love or one word in the comments, just so I know that you're watching, and that, because I see there are hundreds of people watching them, but I don't have much feedback, and I really appreciate it when there's just a little word or something, yeah, to just let me know if that's helpful. Yeah, that's it. I wish you a beautiful day, and I will see you soon for more videos. Bye everyone.